Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Will. So, you've heard us talk about Vegas before. We'll talk about it briefly again coming up here, but also talking about a little place in Utah that some of you may not be aware of, but absolutely beautiful. But before we get into it, please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. I want to give a shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Nick Menard.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Hello, winners.
Hello. So, since you were the reason for this trip, well, you helped coordinate this trip. There was actually a core reason why we went to Vegas this time, but maybe you can set it up because it's the most Vegas thing you can imagine of why we were.
Yes, so basically one of my very good friends from Belgium back in the days was gonna get married to his fiancée in Vegas, and he wanted to have, a typical Vegas wedding in the chapel, in French, and with Elvis Presley singing some songs. So for Will, that was very funny because he experienced not only the wedding chapel at Graceland it was like, right?
Yeah.
And with the Elvis Presley singing 3 songs, and then the pastor's ceremony in French. So it was very burlesque, to say the least, but we had a blast. And yeah, that's something that you only do once in your life, or that you only see once in your life, I assume.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, when I was telling people about why we were going out to Vegas, like everyone just got a big smile on their face. I mean, only in Vegas, right? Can you get married with Elvis singing at your wedding and having the ceremony in French? I don't speak French, but I knew enough what was going on, and Elvis did the songs in English, so that was it. But that was just phenomenal. Congratulations to Steve for formally now tying the knot with his longtime partner. But yeah, that was a blast. And then of course they got pictures and videos of it and all that. It was as crazy and as fun as one might imagine just hearing about it.
Yeah, we're going to send that to the production company. So you will have, if you go on YouTube, you will see a little bit of it. So it's very fun.
Yeah. But anything else from the Vegas portion you want to share? Because we've talked in the past about some of the speakeasies and stuff, but wasn't sure if there were other areas of Frontier.
I would, because we talked a lot about, of course, the Strip, because it's the place where most people go when they don't know Vegas. They go on the Strip because it's what Vegas is all about. But again, we stayed the second part of the trip at Red Rock Resort and Hotel. So it's a place that it's around 20 minutes driving from the Strip, depending the traffic, and it's west side of Las Vegas. So it's close to the mountain where you have all the trails, and that's where the local lives. You have a lot of options, food options, same as the Strip pretty much, but a fraction of the price. And I love the atmosphere there way better than the Strip. But it's maybe because I've been there tons and you lived there for 10 years, but yeah. I really do love the Red Rock area. If you've been to Vegas a couple of times and you want to see something different, I recommend you to try Durango or Red Rock Resort because you will be pleasantly surprised by the how more chill it is. It's local, so you don't have the craziness that you have downtown or even on the Strip. So that's definitely something that I would totally recommend for you to go. I watched 4 movies at the theater. They have a theater at the resort, and it's, for me, the best theater I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. So the seats are extremely comfortable, very wide. As a tall guy, I love to go there because you can literally lift your feet and put your feet up. It recline as much or as little as you want. A lot of space for your, popcorns and drinks. And then they have also like a 4D room, which is phenomenal. I saw Jurassic World, the new one there, and it's everything in between. It's like you are in Orlando at Disney or something. So you have the seat moving based on what's happening in the theater. when the stuff happen in the water, you start getting water on your face. So yeah, you see water coming up. You have when it's lightning on the theater in the movie, you have stroboscope in the theater, so it's feel very natural. You have the scent of the movie coming in front from the seat of front, so it's an experience by itself. It's like $22, so it's not crazy expensive for the experience, and so yeah, so I did that. I did a lot of, things that you can do anywhere there. So playing some poker, watching a sport book. They have a very nice sport book. And then food. Food is just outstanding there. Outstanding. So highly recommend doing that. And maybe I will let you talk about the experience that our friends from Belgium had going to Fremont Street the first time.
Yeah, yeah. So we brought them to Fremont Street for the 4th of July, but they had some live music acts, and just seeing like the people watching. There's a lot of good places you can people watch in Vegas, but downtown OG Las Vegas, it's always a little bit different. And not only is the people watching just a little bit elevated, and interesting, but as you saw, the different T-shirts and other things that they sell in those stores. If you ever seen Spencer's Gifts in the mall, amplify it by like 2x, and that's what those shirts and some of those items are downtown Fremont Street. But it's all covered. They got people zip lining overhead over your head, underneath the canopy, which is serves as like the digital light display where they do these light shows. You got 3 different stages, so you can hear live music, different types of music, which is cool. They have dancers on the bar, so as you're getting your drink, you can see somebody burning calories. If that's your MO, it's all good. And then you got the 3-foot margaritas, which never a bad thing on that. But I think their eyes were widened. I won't say they were widened in a good way, but their eyes were widened in terms of, okay, here is an element of humanity you don't always interact with, and it's interesting. It's fun.
I love your analogies because it's very well thought from the audience. But yeah, it's X-rated, definitely then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some different types on that, but we did go to a restaurant inside the Golden Nugget, and I think they were surprised at where you have the pool area in that in the Golden Nugget. They have this aquarium kind of built into the rocks with shark and different things swimming around, which was cool. But it's wide open, all glass, and then you have a restaurant, Plane Jumper, where we decided to eat, and it's right there. So you're actually like seeing people at the pool while you're eating at a restaurant, but only Vegas, right? Like Vegas has some neat things. New Kid on the Block is playing there, and so Steve's wife, I know, was very excited about the New Kids on the Block. In fact, I
Yeah. Hmm?
talked to somebody earlier today who's going out to Vegas to see New Kids at the Block at the Sphere. They were all excited about it. But going back to your part about Red Rock, so Red Rock is in the northwest part of Vegas in an area called Summerlin. Obviously, the resort, I can't build upon what Nick said. The resort is awesome for all the reasons he mentioned. But if you wanted to do something a little atypical to Vegas, they have the Red Rock Trail, which is a 13-mile circular trail you can drive, and they have many lookout points to stop and take pictures, which are beautiful. And for those of you who are inclined to even have a trail you can hike, and that is really beautiful. So there's things to do in Vegas that are wholesome and actually nature related, not just food and debauchery related. But yeah, if you have a chance, definitely would recommend the Summerlin area, Red Rock Resort and Casino, and even taking the drive to the Red Rock Trail, which is maybe another 15-20 minutes west of the Red Rock Resort. It's not very far, and you can drive it.
Awesome. And then this time, normally when we go, we spend a week, like experiencing a lot of sports. But here is during pretty much the interseasons of football and basketball. So outside baseball, you don't have really any kind of sport. So it was very quiet on that aspect. And so you took that opportunity to go with your family in Utah for I think 3 nights, and do some trails, do some relaxing time with the family. So I will let you expand on the experience if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, thanks, Nick. I think for those people, not everybody loves Vegas, right? And even if you do love Vegas, sometimes you want to do some different things. Vegas has an area called Valley of Fire, which is cool, the Hoover Dam. But one of the things we decided to do as a family with our in-laws were to go to Utah. And originally we are thinking of Zion. I think many people may have heard of Zion, Utah. And Zion has really grown. It's obviously beautiful. They have the Narrows, which is a great trail. They have Angel's Landing, which is cool, but it's grown in popularity so much, it's becoming a little more touristy. And so we decided to go to a place that's about 45 minutes to an hour north of Zion, Utah, called Ducks Creek. So from where we were saying Vegas, it's about a let's just say just shy of 3 hour drive. But we went to Ducks Creek. So at the time in Vegas, it was like 107 degrees, I think it was. In Ducks Creek, it was 74. So it was beautiful weather. Did a lot of trails. We stayed at a cabin that was 3 stories, which was amazing. And then we did a couple of different trails, but the trail that I wanted to chat mostly about is called the Golden Wall Trail. And that was, I think it's about a 3 mile trail. It took, um, gosh, how long did it take us? No, I'm sorry. It was actually 6 miles total that I hiked. The trail itself was around 3 to 4 miles, but we had to park a ways away. And I'll come back to that to the listeners if you're interested of how to maybe be more efficient with that than I was. But absolutely beautiful. 6 miles. I never hiked that much in my life. Tons of switchbacks. For those who hike, you know what switchbacks are. A lot of those. There was about 3 occasions where if I use a UFC analogy, I almost tapped out. Like the incline is high. You're over 1,000 feet elevated from an already elevated position. And but gutted through it, and was it worth it? I mean, absolutely beautiful. You'll see the pictures here from the production company if you check us out on YouTube. But Ducks Creek has maybe 300 people in that town. They said it swelled over 2,000 for the 4th of July weekend. So the cabin we stayed at had obviously a full service kitchen. So we decided to eat in because there's not a lot of eating out places, especially nearby in that area. But just really beautiful. Um, the Airbnb we stayed at was immaculate, really well taken care of, easy to get around, and I don't know. It was just a ton of fun. We actually one of the other days we rented a 4 person UTV or ATV, whatever you want to call it, and there's a ton of trails to take that are specifically for the those ATVs. And that was a ton of fun. Although, be prepared to be dusty. Like I had dust in my nose, like blowing the nose and all that stuff. So they give you eyewear. Definitely want to use the eyewear. And but just it was a lot dusty. But man, was it fun! We went up to my son found this one trail, went over the top, and you have the overlook of the whole valley. We went to a place called Mammoth Cave. There's a Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. This is not as big as that one. It's a lot smaller, but that was cool. We walked around in there. Of course, I have a habit of I always bang my head on the cave no matter where I am. It's like a ritual for some reason. I wish it wasn't because it hurt a little bit, but I always do. I even did that when we were in France that time. I banged my head in somewhere in one of those caves, and I was like, hey. But anyway, uh, I'm giving kind of a high level overview, but for those of you who may want to experience Vegas, but then also experience something with nature, would definitely consider renting a car, make a few hours drive, go to Zion, or if you want to even more relaxed pace, but just beautiful, consider Duck Creek, Utah.
Wow, that's a good news. I mean, I never been there, of course. I've been to Zion, but I never been there. So I love when I watched the video that you sent me and the pictures. I love, or it seems like it was just you guys. I didn't see in any videos other people. And even the lodge was like in a very, an area with no neighbors, and then you guys
Yeah.
were there like 3 floors, and all the things that you see when you go to North Carolina, Tennessee, in those villas or the lodges, when you have pool, you have like everything that you can imagine to do, like family game nights and stuff in those wooded long tables. So that's pretty cool. So Will is totally right. Vegas can be brutal for a week. Most people can handle it for 3 days, and Vegas is undefeated, like we always like to say. And
It
it's true,
is.
I came back sick. And because of the AC though. Let's be clear for listeners, is because I was inside for 3.5 days, and AC was brutal because it was 100+ degrees outside, very dry, of course. And inside it's like blowing air conditioning. The theater is super cold. I was literally shivering inside, but I didn't want to not go because it's so much fun. But that's why I got sick. Anyway, so a lot of people, like 3 days is enough, Vegas. If you just do the strip, I understand. But then you can go and you can take an helicopter ride to go to the Grand Canyon. You can go
Hmm.
over them, of course, probably one of the most known place. You can use Boulder Lake, and you can do other places around Vegas. But if you want to rent a car by yourself with your family and then just go drive, you can go to Arizona, Utah. You can go to different places and have some good time, but totally different than Vegas, which is all about nature. And so thank you for sharing this in particular. While you lived in Vegas, any other places? I know that up north you have the eternal snow, also in Vegas, but any other places that you would recommend people to go when they are in Vegas?
I think Valley of Fire is cool. Again, I'll go more natural route. So Valley of Fire is really cool. I think I may have shared this before on the if you take a 45-minute drive northwest of Vegas to a place called Mount Charleston, that also gets very cool in the summer, but you can ski it in the winter. It gets up to 9,000 feet elevation, I think, just a little shy of 9,000 feet. So you can actually ski in Vegas, which sounds weird to tell people, but it is true. You can go up there. Would highly recommend that. Obviously, in terms of shows and attractions, they're always adding new ones. One that I meant to do, I forgot to mention to you, buddy, and I'd like to do it at some point, is they now have the John Wick experience. So I'd like to check that out and do that once. Obviously sports now, they have a lot of major sports with the Vegas Golden Knights. They got WNBA. Baseball will soon be in Vegas with the Oakland A's moving to Las Vegas. So there's a lot to do. Or Vegas Raiders now, of course. And so, there's really something for everybody. Music, concerts, nature, shows, drinking. The food obviously is amazing. You finally tried Shaq's Big Chicken, which was
Here we
out
go.
there.
That's
Yeah,
done. That was
yeah,
delicious.
yeah. Got Shaq's Big Chicken, and that was really good. So I mean, there's just New York was known as the city that never sleeps, and it still, I'm sure, is to a certain extent. But I'm hard pressed to think of a North American city that offers as much as Vegas does, as consistently as Vegas does. Like any day of the week, there's something going on, and you'll never be bored. But one thing I forgot to mention, I'd be remiss if I didn't share in Utah when we did the trails up in the mountains, is there's a lot of wildlife. So we had chipmunks that were always hanging out by us at the lodge itself. So think Alvin and the chipmunks, those little chipmunks going around, and they were fun watching. But when we're on the trails, deer. So I had a deer that was literally just 2 feet in front of our ATV. Will almost hit it, unfortunately, but fortunately didn't. But you're surrounded by wildlife. So there was a bunch of deer, and I hadn't been that close to that many deer in quite some time, which was cool. And then, of course, they had cattle and cows there. Apparently, they had bears, but I didn't see any. It wasn't like Tennessee. I know we did the episode on Gatlinburg not long ago. There, it was easier to see bears and where we were, but I wasn't sad about that. I didn't need to cross any bear paths by any of that. But the wildlife there was really cool as well. But I think, yeah, if you're looking for a diverse trip within a week, hard pressed to beat the combination of Vegas and southern Utah. Like you really do get both ends of the spectrum, and there's so many different variety of things you could do. You could probably make it a 2 week trip, to be honest, because you could spend easily a week to 10 days in Vegas doing a lot of stuff, and you could spend easily 4 to 7 days in Utah doing a variety of stuff, depending on what tickles your fancy.
No, I agree. I agree because people think Vegas, they think gambling and nightlife, but it's so much more to do. If people tell me, okay, you can go to Miami or you can go to Vegas, Vegas is a no-brainer because Miami outside nightlife and what else? Like beach.
Cuban
Uh,
coffee. Cuban coffee.
yeah, Cuban coffee. Yeah, but I mean Vegas literally have the best restaurant, the best
Oh,
like chef, Michelin star chef that you can imagine. So if you love to eat, hard pressed to find something better than Vegas.
yeah.
And like mentioned, you can do pretty much everything you think about, you can do in Vegas. So that's a big advantage. Also very easy to fly in and out from because the airport is like every 40 seconds, I think you have a
Yeah.
flight coming out. No, it's true from
Yeah.
Vegas. So
Yeah.
so it's like nonstop. So definitely something to think about. And and yeah, if you do go, give us a feedback about what you liked, and if you need help to book it, feel free to let us know, and we'll be more than happy to also help you out with the itinerary and everything.
Yeah. And do yourself a favor if you're listening, winner, and check out YouTube if you don't normally, for especially on the Wanderlust Wednesday episodes. The pictures that are shared can just give you an idea of just how magnificent some of these scenes are, whether it's the magnificence of Vegas, which is, a human made city and everything's a replica, but it's still fascinating how they put it all together, whether it's the water show on Bellagio to just the Trump International Tower to all, the mini Eiffel Tower and mini Statue of Liberty. Like, it's just amazing what humans can do. And the dam, you mentioned Hoover Dam, that is breathtaking to see it and to consider when they built it
I agree.
and how they built it is breathtaking. And then you have a lot of natural stuff around Vegas, which people don't know about. And I have to say about Utah, you know, um, I, I've come to the realization, in my opinion, which so, whatever, take it with a grain of salt. But outside of Oregon, I think Utah is my second favorite state from a natural beauty perspective. Now, in full disclosure, I haven't been to Idaho and Montana. My understanding is those are very beautiful, but going through Oregon and those trees, and they have Crater Lake and different things there. And then Utah, southern Utah, we talked about Zion. We now talked about Ducks Creek, which isn't as well known.
Mohawk.
Northern Utah, where you got Salt Lake City and Provo for skiing. I mean, just a beautiful state. So if you're somebody who appreciates natural beauty, landscape, different visuals that you don't always get to see, like the bluffs and the cliffs in Utah, consider Utah. It's really an area that I've come to appreciate the more and more I visit. And like I said, I would put it in my top two, along with Oregon, as some of the most beautiful states in the country to see.
All right. You heard it first. Will mentioned it, and I would not disagree with that at all. I did it back in the days, I think in 2006. I did 3 weeks over there when I spent a week in Vegas and 2 weeks, 10 days, 10 nights to be honest, to be exact, in the canyons when I went to Arizona or Utah, back to Nevada, and it was mind blowing, like breathtaking kind of trip.
Yeah, and they have, for those who hike, I'll just wrap with this. For those who hike, the trails we did the first day were really easy, and those were beautiful, and they led to like this lake you could oversee and everything. The Golden Wall was moderate. Now, I'm not exactly the most in shape person, but I'm also not like that out of shape. That moderate trail was challenging, but they have so many different trails to do, and I just barely scratched the surface. So if you're a novice hiker, you don't have to feel intimidated. They have easy trails you can do that are still very beautiful and picturesque to see. If you're somebody who's hiked before and you like a little bit of a challenge, or you want an extreme challenge, they have the moderate to hard trails. Now, I'm not ready to do a hard trail yet. I'm not ready to scale rocks or anything like that, but the moderate, I got a workout. I mean, I got a significant workout, but the payoff was so worth it. And hopefully you've seen some of these pictures that give you a little bit of the clue on YouTube of just how beautiful it was. So any last comments you want to make about Viva Las Vegas or Utah, Nick, or we close it up?
No, if you wanna get married, do it there. It's a lot cheaper and it's fun, and it's an experience you will never ever forget.
That's true. How many people can be serenaded by Elvis as they get wedded in nuptials in French? Only in Vegas. I'll take it. All right, winners, that'll overdo it for this version of Wanderlust Wednesday. Please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow. 2 for the win on your favorite platform. Spread the word. If there's certain topics or areas you want us to investigate and talk about in terms of vacation or destinations, please let us know. And again, shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. So with that, we will wrap it up and see you next week, winners. Take care.
Bye, winners.